Alana Bowen says hi.
Woo! Early bird gets the reply. That's a shout out. Hey. Oh, and Magoo says hi as well. Yeah. Oh, and Chloe apparently. Yeah, hi Magoo.
Rachel says hi.
Hey Rachel.
Royer's in the house.
Hey, I need to turn off that.
Tyler, Liam,
Wait, did I miss Royers?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Royers. I was just missing you. Not on purpose. Anyway, who else?
Tyler, Liam, and Allie.
Ooh, hi, all three of you.
Troy says,
From where?
what's up?
What's up? Oh, cool lizards are what's up. And Magoo's what's up.
Hi from Lucy and Kimber.
Lucy and Kimber. Ooh, hi.
Gracie and Nolan are excited.
Yay. Speaking of Gracie, I'm waiting. A different one. Gotcha.
Jenny says hello.
And hello. Think we got a pretty good following going. We got everybody on here. Well then, let's get started. All right, here we are with a lizard. Just any lizard, right? Yeah, oh, it's a lizard with claws. All right. So as most of you probably know, this particular lizard is a very, very special type of lizard. This is the infamous Gila monster. That's right, the Gila monster. Doesn't that sound scary? I know you're thinking, wait a minute, that's kind of a beautiful lizard. And why is it that we would call this beautiful lizard a monster? Well, the reason for that is because this is found in the southwestern United States. And when the settlers first came over to that area and they started seeing these animals that no one had ever seen anywhere on the planet before, they made up stories about it. Monster stories. Stories like, oh, if you're out traveling across the desert and you have to spend the night, and if your foot slips out of your bedroll, this creature will come out of the ground and bite your foot and kill you. Scary stuff, but just stories. Monster stories. Stories like if this guy's walking along and one drop of his saliva, his spit hits the ground, everything within 10 feet automatically dies. Scary stuff, but just that. Monster stories. Stories like it can blow smoke out of its mouth, and if you inhale that smoke, it gets in your lungs and it deteriorates, eats away your lungs, and you die a painful, agonizing death. Painful story, but just a story. A monster story. Now, that's where it got the name Gila Monster. But that story is just that, just monster stories. Oh, but there is one little thing about this Gila Monster that kind of lends to the term monster. But that's what makes it special. You see, this lizard is one of only 2 lizards on the entire planet with a true venom. That's right, they have poison glands in their bottom jaw. And every one of Well, there's his bottom jaw. And every one of his teeth is specially made to put that poison. You see, he has a bunch of sharp teeth in his upper and lower jaw. And every one of those sharp teeth has a groove in it. So when this thing bites into something, the teeth go in, the venom, the poison goes through the grooves into whatever he's biting. And if it's you it's biting, it's pretty painful. But good news, he's not out to get you. That's right. The Gila monster is not out hunting humans. And better news, if he was to bite you, you're not going to die. That's right. The Gila monster is not out to hunt a human. He doesn't wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to go human hunting today, and go hunting humans. No, he's actually out there helping humans. You see, the Gila monster likes to eat things like, mice and eggs and mice and eggs and mice and eggs, and that's pretty much it. Doesn't have a varied diet. You see, the Gila monster lives in the deserts, the upper and lower deserts of the southwestern United States, and he spends most of his time underground. Yeah, he's walking along, going down the hole, finding a mouse that dug the hole and is living in the hole, then he'll eat that mouse. Or maybe he's looking for a bird's nest or some kind of other thing that would have eggs. He doesn't like to climb trees very often, but he will eat the eggs of a dove or a quail or a poor will or something, a nest on the ground, but he eats more than just bird's eggs. You see, the Gila monster also will eat things like turtle eggs, snake eggs. He'll even eat eggs of other lizards. But eggs aren't very fast, so you don't have to be very fast to chase him down and catch him, right? Yeah, so he's not very fast. In fact, I will show you in a bit when we put him down how he walks. He's not fast. This guy moving would be about like this. And then, if you scare him, he sprints as fast as he can, about like that. And then he has to stop and rest, because that was a lot of energy for him to expend. He is actually a very, very lazy lizard. But being that he lives in the desert and he's eating eggs and mice, he's conserving his energy by spending most of his time underground, and he's able to do that because he can store his food in his tail. That nice thick tail, that's where he puts his food. So he eats a bunch when he can find it. He transfers that into fat that he stores in his tail, and then he can make it through the rest of the month or however long it takes before he can find food again. Now, this is the time of the year when Gila monsters have started to come out, so occasionally somebody may run into one. But it's not very likely. People can spend their whole lives living where these live, going out hiking and all over, and never get the opportunity to see one. It's actually a very special lizard to find. Now, you'll notice he does have little bumps all over. It kind of makes it look like he's made out of beads. Well, every one of these little dots here, these little beads, is a little armor plating. You see, it's a scale that has a little bone inside called an osteoderm, and that makes him armor plated. And of course makes it to where it's hard for an animal to get to. Not that they're gonna, because he has the venomous bite. That's right. These guys might look very slow, and if you were to come across him, he would be walking along very slowly, and you might see it and go, I want to feel it, I want to touch it, I want to see how these beads feel. And of course, you know not to touch it here, because the bitey part, we covered that already, right? So you see him walking along, and you go, I'm going to touch the other end. So you just touch the tip of the tail, and then bam, his head is right there. It's that fast. You don't even know what's going to happen. And of course, bam, now you have a Gila monster stuck to your hand. Because when a Gila monster bites, he bites and holds on. He has very thick muscles in his jaws for biting down hard. And when he bites down, he holds on, sometimes for a few hours. Now, there's all kinds of myths and stories about that they'll bite down until there's lightning in the sky, or the thunder rolls, or until the sun goes down, or until whatever. But really, it's just a very long time. Now, once he's biting on, it's almost impossible to get him off. And of course, now you've got poison in your body. This venom's going through. It's super painful. It's not going to kill you probably, but hey, you don't want to have it happen. You end up having to go to the hospital. The people at the hospital are trying not to laugh at you, but they know the only way you got bit was to try and touch a Gila monster. And they'll usually even ask you that. Say, didn't you know not to touch a Gila monster? And you're going to have to say what? Yeah, that Wild Man Phil guy told me not to, but here I am looking silly. Yeah, you want to just leave it alone. Now, this Gila monster you're looking at here is pretty much full grown. It'll get a little bit bigger. Once again, being a reptile, they grow their whole entire life. But this is about normal size. Yeah, I've seen some bigger and, of course, a lot smaller ones. But the Gila monster, like a lot of reptiles and most lizards, it's an egg layer. That's right. It goes down into a perfect place in the ground. It lays those eggs down in there, and then it leaves. And those eggs hatch, and, well, we don't know what happens after that. With all the research we've done, very, very few people have ever seen a young Gila monster, let alone a brand new baby. Now, we have had them breed in captivity in places, so people know how that works. But in the wild, it's kind of a mystery for the first year or so. But, of course, it's not something to worry about because it has the danger colors. You see, this yellowish color, sometimes these are bright orange, sometimes they're pink. That with this black indicates that it's dangerous. Animals with a bright color and a black are generally dangerous. Think about it. What color is a bumblebee? Black and yellow. Think about a wasp, hornet, yellow jacket, blister beetle, coral snake, black widow spider. All these things have a bright color with a black, which signifies danger. And animals know this. So some creature comes across this guy, sees the colors, they're thinking, hey, I want to leave this guy alone. And of course works out well for the Gila monster. But as much as, oh, and by the way, before we move on to his cousin, I do need to let you know you cannot go out and just catch a Gila monster. Now, I happen to live in Arizona, where we do have these. Places like Utah, Colorado, Nevada, and such do have Gila monsters in the wild. But it is illegal to go out and mess with a Gila monster and to catch a Gila monster, because Gila monsters are actually on the endangered species list. Not because they're actually endangered. Well, we don't know that they are, and that's why we've figured better safe than sorry. We'll put them on the list so that nobody messes with them. They're so secretive, there's not a whole lot known about them. So you can get in big trouble if you go out and catch a Gila monster. So, of course, I always get the question, well, what about you, Wildman Phil? How do you have a Gila monster? Well, I do have a special permit, and even so, I was not able to go out and get one. This guy had to come in through the system. And he's got kind of a funny story because he came through the system because he was found in a little town in western Arizona because somebody was trying to sell him to a pet store. Now, that's highly illegal, and let's just say the person was kind of on drugs. Don't do drugs, kids, because you do really dumb stuff. And was trying to sell this lizard to the pet store. Said, hey, I have a Gila monster. You guys want to buy it? And the guy said, well, I think we might. Let me go check. And he went inside, and he called our Game and Fish department and said, hey, I got somebody trying to sell a Gila monster here. And so Game and Fish came and ended up citing the person. But the story kept changing on where it came from. They didn't want to tell where they found it, or who they got it from, and that sort of thing. So they couldn't let it go back out in the wild because they didn't know where. So it ended up in the system, and now I have it. Which, of course, is good for us because now he gets to be used to educate others about his kind. Oh, and he's not injured. You see, a lot of Gila monsters that come into the system have been attacked by a dog or a human, or they've been hit by a car, or something has happened to them, and they're messed up, sometimes pretty badly. Maybe they're just missing a leg, but in any case, this guy's perfectly healthy. And it works out well for us to see what a Gila monster does. Now, the question I get a lot is about the predators. So the Gila monster looks like an apex predator. He's got a dangerous venom. He can kill anything. Well, first off, he can't kill just everything, and that works, but what if something attacks it and kills it before it gets a chance to bite it? Well, that doesn't work. But there are some things that do still eat the Gila monster. When it's a baby especially, a lot of birds will, birds of prey especially, will eat all sorts of lizards, the Gila monster included. Once it gets to be pretty good size, some of the mammals like coyotes and foxes and things will try and eat a Gila monster. Sometimes they're actually successful with that. But normally, there's not a whole lot of things even finding the Gila monster. Now, one other very interesting thing about this particular Gila monster that I found just by years of working with it is that even though I've had this one for 5 years, and this Gila monster, you can see, can be handled just like any other lizard, really. It's not trying to bite me, and people ask me, so how is it that the Gila monster, look at how cool that guy is right there. People are asking, so this Gila monster here, how is it you can handle him? And he doesn't try to bite you. Well, his nature is not to attack everything that comes nearby. I can handle it and hold it basically free like anything else because I know what to watch for. And if he starts getting a little agitated, if you will, then I can go ahead and hold him differently. But I'm always ready with a hand to grab him where he can't grab me. Oh, and I also know it's not going to kill me if I do get bit. I know the question, have you ever been bit by a Gila monster, Wildman Phil? Yes, I have. Years and years ago, I got nicked by a Gila monster that put a small amount of venom in me, and it was painful. Not anything ended up in the hospital over, because it wasn't a good, hard, solid bite. But I definitely learned my lesson then. Now, a few things about this one here. First off, if you look closely, you can see a difference in the coloration, I think you can, from this part of his body on his head to back here. See how the color changes? This is because, see if we got a good spot, he's in the middle of shedding. So this is actually the ugliest time of this lizard's life. And over the next few days, he's going to have pieces of skin come off, like this here. And he'll soak in water to help that happen. He does that for 2 or 3 days. But this is because he's healthy. He's growing. So he's getting rid of this old skin that's kind of yellowed, you can see. And he has this brighter, kind of pinkish colored underneath there. Now, once he's done shedding, you'll see his skin will be really, really pretty. And he'll have much more of the pinkish color. Kind of like on his foot right here, maybe. Yeah. I don't know if you can see some of that pretty coloration going on there. All right, well, this Gila monster is one of 2 species of these venomous lizards. Well, they're in the genus we call Heloderma. It's a big word that basically means, well, Heloderma means protected skin there, because he's got these bony skins. Well, you know what? The other lizard I do want to talk about as well, and then we'll come back to this guy, and I'll show you a little something special about him that I learned by keeping him for years. But let's take a couple of questions quickly on the Gila monster.
What does the flicking of his tongue do?
Ah, good. You're getting a little ahead of me, but I'll talk about it now, because you'll notice that both this guy and the next lizard stick their tongue out a lot. And the reason for that is he likes to taste the ground and know what's going on. He can actually pick up some scent particles out of the air, but it's not quite as adept at using this as, say, a snake. Snakes are always sticking their tongue out, but it's the same idea. When this guy's on the ground, he's going to lick the ground, and he can use that tasting of the ground to track his food, and he'll know, oh, a mouse went down this hole, and I can go down there. Or he can taste a spot and go, oh, there's some eggs in here, and dig those eggs up. And I've actually come across that happening in the wild once, where a Gila monster was just digging at the ground, and I'm going, what? This is crazy. What's he trying to dig? Well, I found out later from somebody else that had been in the area that was excited because this little spot right here, a turtle had laid its eggs a few days earlier. There was a nearby little lake, and it had walked over and laid its eggs, and when this guy told me that, it all made sense. This guy had found the eggs and was trying to dig them up. So he can do that by using his tongue. Another question, though.
How long do they live?
Oh, very good question. Gila monsters will live about 20 or 25 years. Yeah, that's pretty good for a lizard. This particular one here I've had for 5 years, and I have no idea how old it is, because once again, it was full grown when it came into the system. But very, very good question. Any other questions on the Gila monsters? Well, before I switch over, I got to let you know his cousin looks very similar, and we're going to come back to the Gila monster because I've discovered that even though this lizard is kind of my friend, if you will, and he knows I'm not going to try and eat him, and so he's acting like, oh, any other kind of domestic lizard. The reason I always have to make sure and keep in mind that he can bite and inflict a lot of pain is because something strange goes through him when we do a little something to him that's not mean at all, but actually very nice, and he can go back to his wild, natural ways. And I think everybody wants to see how that would go down. So I'm going to get him back out in a minute to do that. But first, I want to get out his cousin, the slightly larger but just as impressive Mexican beaded lizard. Now, looking at these two side by side, you can see all of the similarities, right? They've got the nice long tongue, but look at the tongue color. Little bit different color, huh? Yeah, there you go. But this is the Mexican beaded lizard. He's a little bit different than the Gila monster. First off, usually a little bit... Yeah, hi. What's going on? Yeah, how you doing? Yeah. You taste like mouse. Weird. In any case, he's so friendly, isn't he? The Mexican beaded lizard, he's found in Mexico. You already figured that part out, right? Yeah, he's found in Mexico, down into Guatemala, and he lives in a different environment. The Gila monster lives in the low and upper deserty areas, sometimes in the transition zone where we have some trees. But the Mexican... Well, that didn't work well. The Mexican beaded lizard lives in forested areas, and he's built slightly different. You see, he has kind of the same feet as the Gila monster. They're, of course, a little bigger, and his claws are sharper. You see, he doesn't spend all of his time on the ground filing those nails down. He uses them for climbing trees. And I don't know if you can see my arm right there, but oh yeah, he's got a little bit already going into me there just from holding him this little bit. And of course, sometimes that gets really bad. And I actually have to trim his nails to keep him down a bit. But he has those for climbing. You see, the Mexican beaded lizard is a climber. That's right. And he's such a good climber, he can do something that not many lizards can do, especially his cousin, the Gila monster. And that is, he has what we call a prehensile tail. He can hold on with just his tail. When he wants to. Now he doesn't. He wants to go down. He's like, no, no, there's a branch there. Yeah. Hold on here. Bend it to the side. There we go. He can bend this over. Oh, he wants to use his legs to hold on. Yeah, there we go. But he has this tail that he can curl around and hold on with. And, well, he has the same beaded look. I think you can see that pretty well. And, there we go. This guy, you can see, does have the same beads, the same osteoderms inside the scales, just like in the Gila monster. But the beaded lizard is bigger. This one's not even full grown. This guy will get to be over 3 feet long. That's right. Now, being that he lives in the forested areas and he's good at climbing, the eggs he eats are usually the eggs that are up in the tree. So he's raiding bird nests. He's up looking for whatever he can find up in the trees. Now, as big as he is, once he's full grown, not a whole lot of animals will try to eat him. But they do have jaguars in the area and things like that do occasionally get one. His defense is basically the same as a Gila monster. His coloration helps him to look dangerous, and he can back it up with that bite. Now, I don't know if this guy, sometimes he'll open his mouth just a little, and you can see the muscles in here. If not, we'll see that on the Gila monster in a bit. Yeah, not a whole lot there. Whoa, there we go. Did you hear him? Yeah. That's also pretty good as well. But once again, this guy, there are no actual accounts of anyone ever having died from the bite of a Mexican beaded lizard. And there's actually, with the Gila monster, only one account of someone that they thought to have actually died from a Gila monster bite. So once again, yeah, I know, we're not going to try it though. Thanks, buddy. He's like, what's going on? You want to climb on my head? Yeah, he loves to climb. Oh, such an interesting little creature here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys kind of how he is, that he can walk. So, let's go ahead and just put him on the ground here and see if we can get him to walk along the ground. You going to walk for us a bit here? Or are you just going to sit there and lick the ground and look, well, kind of foolish? While we're watching him to see if he'll walk at all and lick the ground and show you how that works, we'll talk a little bit. There we go. There he's moving. We'll talk a little bit about the beaded lizard. Most people, once again, if you're out hiking around in Mexico where these guys live, you might get the opportunity to see one. And even though you might want to touch it and feel it, once again, you don't want to, because he can do that whole sideways thing. Now, I notice he's walking around, licking the ground, not walking a whole lot for us, not being very interesting. Yeah. By the way, that tongue is also good for licking up the insides of an egg. He'll break the egg open and kind of lap up the yolk and the egg white and stuff. And, well, that's about it for this guy wanting to move a bunch, I guess. Yeah. You see, he's not very fast. He's just slowly looking around, licking the ground, going, well, no eggs under there, no mouse came through here. And, well, it'd be funny if he did start digging. I would have to help him to find out what's in there. But while we're talking about these guys on the ground, let me go ahead and talk a little bit more about how they would be out in the wild. This is where I'm going to get the Gila monster back out for you and show you something I found very interesting about the Gila monster. Now, this Gila monster, first off, I've come across a number of Gila monsters in the wild. And some of the Gila monsters I've come across have been very nice and calm, like this guy, even out in the wild. You get up close and they walk along like they don't have a care in the world. And then sometimes you come across them and they get very defensive. They get up on all four legs, they open their mouth, they hiss, and they try to scare you away. But this guy has always been nice and calm. Well, I discovered that if I put him on the ground, something inside him kind of kicks back to nature. And I find out, I think, the truth about this lizard. And a lot of times when I put him on the ground, he'll give me an attitude and he'll act just like he would out in the wild. You all want to see how that works, right? Of course you do. So, let's go ahead and put him on the ground. I'm going to put him right down here in this area and give him a minute to, let the natural ground waves come up into him. First off, I want you to see how it is that he moves, because it's kind of cool. If he does move, hey, move for us. There we go. He's going to head over that way there, walking around. Now, I don't know how long he's been on the ground, but usually within about 60 seconds of him being on the ground, he'll start sprinting. But hey, let's move you right back over here a minute. And then, let's see if he's changed at all. Are we good now? We're good? Of course he's not going to today when we're going live. He's like, I want to just go this way. Hey, let's see if we can get him to run that direction. We can see, hey, move a bit for us. There we go. Now you can see how the Gila monster walks. I think it's pretty cool when it walks. And, hey, he's just worried about getting away. He had to make a liar out of me, huh? Okay, well, you need a little bit more time down, or are we good? He's like, I really don't even care today. So, hey, let's just do that. We'll let him, here, walk along and show everybody how a Gila monster walks. So there you go.
Are there different behaviors between male and females?
No, and another good question about that is the simple, there you go, walk that way. The simple question I get a lot on different animals is, hey, what's the difference? Can you tell a male from a female by looking at them? And actually, you can't. With Gila monsters, now some people who work with them a lot, they can tell by looking at them because of the shape of the body and the tail, but it's such a very specific thing to tell that most people can't. This one I happen to know is a male because we did an ultrasound. We actually had to take a machine and go look inside to see what he had on the inside to see that it's a male. Yeah. Okay. Well, now that he's made a liar out of me, my big buildup of him giving you all kinds of attitude isn't going to work. I'm thinking maybe I should try it with the beaded lizard. I don't know if it might go back to nature per se. But this guy here, hey, we're good? Yeah? Okay. Wow, that is just amazing. About 95% of the time that I put this guy down on the ground, within about 30 seconds, he gives me attitude when I go to pick him back up. Let me see if maybe, just maybe, because you know you want to see it, so we might as well try. If we let the beaded lizard do it. So, let's see. Let him sit here for a bit. Maybe he'll walk for you some. Yeah, that's exciting. Wow, where are you going? Nowhere. It's like, yeah. But the important question is, are you getting any kinds of natural vibes from the ground too? Hey, we're good over here? That's hilarious. Oh, well, there you go. There's the exciting beaded lizard. Now, let's see. We're good though? Yeah, okay. I was really hoping one of you guys would show everybody the inside of your mouth a little. I mean, not stuck on my finger, but let's go with, Wow. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and finish up a little bit with both of these guys out walking along, because nothing like having to wrangle a couple of venomous lizards to make the day fun, right? Yeah, nothing says lazy lizard like that shot right there. Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna look around over here, you look around over there, and yeah, we'll be good. Ha! Okay. Nothing this way, buddy, but me. Yeah. Okay. Well, now you're kind of getting the idea of the difference, seeing them side by side down on the ground. All right, well, since nobody here, you gonna show them attitude at all now? Oh, by the way, I usually get the question, what's their names? Well, most of my animals don't have names, but these two do. the Gila monster down on the ground, his name is Randall. Yeah, one of my daughters named it, and I thought it was actually pretty fitting because Randall, think about who Randall is, right? How many have seen Monsters, Inc.? Randall is the monster that's long and skinny like that. Of course, in the movie, he has a few more legs and he can change colors. I move very quickly. But this guy's a venomous bite, so he wins. And the beaded lizard here, his name is Toothless. Because look at that head. Doesn't he look like Toothless from the How to Train Your Dragons movie? Oh, and when we first got him, he was a baby. His tail was messed up at the end. He has a little kink there. He was born with that. So, he's a dangerous creature. All right, but, well, he's not really toothless, but it's a great name. I think it was very fitting.
Are they nocturnal?
Oh, very good question. When do they come out? They are what we call temperature dependent. So this time of the year when it's 70-something degrees out in the desert, that's when the Gila monster is going to come out. Same thing's true with the beaded lizard. But then as it gets hotter into the summer and it's too hot during the day, they become nocturnal. So they can be both, but they're not strictly one or the other. Now, let's go ahead and get Randall back in here. You go, oh, we might have a little, you got attitude coming now? We're good? No? Yeah, not a whole lot though. That's good. You're not gonna open the mouth and show us anything, right? It's like, no, I'm just gonna run away there. Put you over there. All right, we'll let you walk towards the camera. That's kind of a cool shot. Of course, this might have a lot to do with the fact that he is in the middle of shedding his skin right now, so they behave a little bit differently then anyway. But you don't want to show anybody that big open mouth today, huh? All right, well, maybe we'll get a picture of it later and post it and you guys can see it. In any case, the Gila monster, the beaded lizard, two of the only real venomous lizards that we have on the planet. Some other lizards may have some toxic saliva and things, but these guys have teeth that are made for injecting that venom that's made in venom glands in the bottom jaw, but they're still not out to get you. You're out and about and you find one, you don't have to hurt it. You especially don't have to kill it. You're not saving the neighborhood by killing a Gila monster you found in the alley or something. And of course, you're out in the middle of the desert. He's obviously not going to hurt anybody. He's out there to help. And that's what I want you guys to remember. Now, with that being said, I do want to go ahead and once again thank everybody for the support. If you enjoyed these videos every day, please feel free to drop a couple of bucks in the virtual tip jar. Tomorrow, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to feed a number of the animals. There's still time if you want to get on voting for what you want to see be fed by finding that post on the Facebook page here, asking, what do you want to see eat? And give us some more ideas. Next week, we're going to have some fun. We've got, again, we have fun every time, don't we? But I'm trying to think what we have. I know the armadillo is up next week. And I think people have been asking about my story. So we'll do a little interview type thing, tell my story as well. And encourage you guys to follow your dreams and have some fun. But please, if you would like, drop some money in. People have been asking about merchandise. We do have some. We're going to cover that tomorrow, but feel free to message if you have questions about that. Everything from DVDs and t-shirts to Stumpy the Tortoise bracelets and other fun things. So you guys can sport some of the Wildman Phil swag. But if you do want to help us out, feel free to Zelle, Venmo, or PayPal. Yes, we'll put them in the comments as well. But if you're into Zelle, just go to payment@wildmanphil.com. If you like to Venmo, the way to get a hold of us there is WildmanPhil, all one word, with a capital W and a capital P. And if you're into PayPal, presentations@desertwildlife.net. Those are the easiest three ways to do that. We have had suggestions to set it up on the Facebook Messenger app. We're working on that to make it even easier for you as well. But with all that being said, thank you guys again for joining in, and hope everybody enjoyed learning about these two very interesting lizards that are very, very special. Hope to see you again tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. Arizona time, same place right here on the Wildman Phil Facebook page live. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.